abusia aha de tutu so ageta asemasi US say wo for so say obeboa Africa for nanso Africa for so da bi yempe no mo ko machi US edisika from World Bank edi tata Africa for nanso Africa for so this time round here first food is a food, second food is not a food. Omuba Ghana bema Ghana for $300 million. Say $30 million is $300 million. Say ye famboy ye health sector. And Ghana for say there be that ye pomacho ye okay pa. Just omu di nyaza kwanso be permanent rasa ako. Omu ye na omu di omu di Zambia. Hakainde ho. The president Hakainde Zambia company ho say mo so ye be mo musika $300 million. Na mo fan support mo health system no. Omo si da bi ye okay pa anya mi hira mo US ho. Ye yin sika bi asisi. Africa from people say the money ebie ankasa. Omo send the money chire mo ye DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Say komo mo bosinya. Congo for say da bi ye okay pa mo fa mo sika nko. Na we dey yankasa e betima solve a problem kakra. Omo di sika ne mo wa ye be gine terms ye wo ho. No omo di extract gold. No omo di come crude no omo di yo mo because the Strait of Hormuz is you say there. A break enti adododo dia e wo ha na US onya no mo no onya biom e na Gulf countries na hyase atwe omo e di free e US ho enti ama ahokyere e di ahokyere e pese e ba US for so enti omo per strategy a omo betimi di amaja ne mama ye kama se ne be ahokyere e ma omo manfo so enti na omo start de busia e tata African penfo no omo ni se de mama mu ti fanya fi mo ji amu bidi to ata se ne mo minerals de omo de omo sabeto so. She said, "Yeah, Africa for see baby. No way." But more than so, we talk to my papa. Ediache, and I say cheddar material. Papa, ediache, umami. Every contact, Open single, open one, open double, open one. Come on. My friend, dear mama.
The Zambian government has insisted that the United States tied access to critical minerals to a controversial health funding package which Lusaka rejected. This comes as the two countries trade blame following the collapse of talks. Giving details publicly for the first time about why negotiations failed, the Zambian government said it opposed a US attempt to couple health funding with mineral access through two proposals. In a statement on Monday, 4th May, Zambia's Foreign Minister Mulambo Haimbe said the US had offered support of up to $2 billion over the next 5 years in a proposed health agreement, but that some terms regarding health data sharing would violate Zambians' right to privacy. Haimbe said Zambia also had objections to a separate proposed agreement on critical minerals. The foreign minister added that a cause for further concern was how the two separate proposals were tied to one another, such that the conclusion of the critical minerals agreement is made conditional on the conclusion of the health MOU.
Ghanaian officials have told DW that the country is rejecting a proposed $300 million US health deal. The agreement is part of Washington's America First strategy, which is shifting funding for health commodities and services onto Ghana, while it is also requiring the Ghanaian government to take over systems that were previously run by US contracted NGOs. But it's the privacy concerns that are the deal breaker.
A statement from the DRC presidency says the suspension of contracts with American lobbying firms is meant to establish solid and long-lasting ties between the US and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The two governments recently agreed to relaunch strategic partnerships during a visit of the new US Senior Advisor for Africa, Masad Bolos. Mr. Bolos discussed the ongoing security crisis in the east of the DRC with President Felix Tshisekedi and agreed on a way forward to implement a minerals for security deal that the DRC had proposed to the US. Under the deal, the DRC seeks to offer the US exclusive rights to exploit its critical minerals in exchange for military assistance to defeat the M23 rebels. The full details of the deal have, however, not yet been disclosed. The DRC has large deposits of lithium, cobalt, coltan, and uranium that are used for making electronic and defense technologies. But the M23 rebels have captured several territories that are rich in some of those minerals.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa says Africa's natural resources will no longer be taken out of the continent without delivering real value to its people. Addressing journalists in Luanda after the 7th AU-EU summit, President Mnangagwa said African leaders are now firmly aligned in demanding fair and mutually beneficial partnerships, particularly in the mining sector, which remains central to Zimbabwe's economy.
Zambia has joined a growing list of African nations rejecting U.S. health funding, halting $1 billion deal over concerns that aid is tied to mining partnerships. The agreement would have provided over $1 billion for HIV, malaria and maternal health over 5 years, with Zambia contributing $340 million in co-financing. But a contentious clause linked the funding to a proposed bilateral compact on mining by April 1st, raising fears that health support depends on strategic resource access. Activist Owen Mulenga told Reuters, "We need support from the US, but there should be transparency." Zambia now joins Zimbabwe, which recently withdrew from a $367 million health deal, citing sovereignty concerns and insisting on data ownership.
Across Africa, something unusual is happening. Governments are starting to reject foreign deals. Not quietly, not symbolically, but publicly, from mining contracts to financial agreements to data-sharing demands. African leaders are asking a question that is changing global politics: who really benefits from these deals? For decades, the continent was told it needed outside control to grow. But now, countries across Africa are pushing back. And the world is beginning to realize Africa is no longer negotiating from weakness. A major shift is happening across Africa, and it is changing the way governments think about power, resources, money, and international partnerships. For decades, many African countries operated in a global system where foreign governments, multinational corporations, and international institutions held in